I think one of the reasons why I like electronic music is you kind of design the instrument, which kind of appeals to me. You approach it in a very naive, a way where kind of you just respond to how it sounds. Because it's such a vast world, you can get lost in it and you can spend a lot of time in a kind of meditative, relaxed way, just exploring ideas, exploring style, experimenting. I think this kind of world gives way to experimenting in a very natural way, especially when you consider the dawn of electronic music was pure experimentation. It was people trying to create a new kind of vocabulary for music and sound. You know what the interesting thing is? That thing that you came into the room, well, it's not that interesting, but when you entered this flat and you were hearing something, that one, I'll never be able to get that ever again. That's just gone forever. And listening in different contexts, so I generally listen a lot outside of the studio that I'm working in. So, you know, when I'm on a bus, when I'm travelling, in somebody else's studio, listening, just changing the environment, trying to... It takes me a long time to understand my own music in a way. I need to kind of see things in existence and, you know, listen to them and to understand how they behave and how they sit together and how they feel. So there's just been huge amounts of making, really, huge amounts. And obviously there's lots of waste, which is the downside to this way of working. You know, rather than being very clean and sort of considered and more almost academic about it, I've been more just, it's almost like a stream of consciousness where it's just making and making and making and then trying to piece together the things that are more exciting, and then when things really come together, like loving them and then wanting to share them with other people. Sometimes it's just nice to think of music in different ways. You know, to think of music as visuals or to think of visuals as music, it's just nice to... That's a rhythmic pattern from another song. That's the end of Sudden Awareness of Now. And that's me thinking of... That's me thinking of all these kind of eruptions of different sounds. That's actually mathematically correct. That's articulation. The dun 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 dun. There's lots of recording very, very simple. Often it could just be like I say, a single note. For example, this note that I was just playing here, is it's got some movement to it. If I add noise, that's already quite aggressive. But for example, in a moment in a composition where you wanted to build, if you were to just increase that into the composition, that's obviously going to add tension and like energy, momentum.
What would be a pinnacle for you?
Well, the Barbican, really. Because I never thought I'd ever get to play at the Barbican. It's one of those kind of prestigious venues where, for a long time, it felt like the music that I make doesn't kind of belong in that world. And also the scale of it. Yeah, it was cool to do it. Because, yeah, it just felt like it was never possible. London is like quite a precious city, and that's good, obviously, in a way, because it means that all the young people are like they've got such determination and they're just making stuff to survive. that energy feeds into the city, I think, and obviously that happens in every city, but I think it's quite extreme in London.
Do you feel that actually?
Yeah, I feel like you sense that. Yeah, you just because obviously you only sense it if you are interested in the arts and you're looking for it. Obviously, if you're not, you might not notice it otherwise, but it's just the amount of work that's created that you come into contact with or you observe or pass by. It's just a constant flow of stuff that's being made, and meeting people and hanging out with people and networking and not just normal stuff, but it's it's the same with any kind of city, and I guess any capital city. There's just a lot of stuff going on. The same stuff in any other city, but just maybe a little bit more specific. Music changes so much when you put it into a different context. And of course, playing live as well is like one of the best ways to really understand how something works, because I find that something really, really simple that you think is not interesting can be extremely interesting and powerful in a live setting. So there's just all this swapping of how you understand something. I mean, I've been doing it for quite a long time now, but I do feel like it's an unknowable thing. Been here 15 years, I guess, so I'm not sure really. Yeah, I've started probably to change my attitude towards it as I've gotten a little bit older. Well, maybe post-pandemic.
What, you mean good or bad?
Not bad, but maybe just I should live somewhere else, maybe, because it's kind of important to live in different places. I haven't really got somewhere specific in mind, but I'm interested in, many places in Europe. And it doesn't have to be a long-term thing. It could be like living somewhere for 6 months or a year. But I think I will do it pretty soon. And that'll probably help the art as well.